I want you to get together.
They did the whole let's pretend the moon's a giant rock floating in space thing again. Obviously, it's been a while, hasn't it? So we have to do something, guys. We've got to justify our existence in some way, shape, or form. So they put on this whole show, and then once they return, they come plummeting back in a vessel that gets up to what, like 5,000 degrees Celsius or something stupid, and then it hits the ocean, and not a drop of steam. It's all fake. We know it's fake. I'm preaching to the choir here. They're making it up. They lied. They made it up. It's not real. Never happened. But there's a huge, huge group of people who prostrate themselves at the altar of NASA, don't they? And they're just like, "Oh, give me more space, Daddy. Give it all to me. I want more. I want more fantasy. Give it to me, please. I need the fiction. Another blue marble. Just another blue marble. Just one more." You know, they're addicted to it. They need that thing because they have nothing. They have nothing else, do they? Because they've been indoctrinated their entire life to consider themselves not even a mold, just a useless, resource draining cancer on a water covered slime rock hurtling through space chaotically, thousands of miles an hour, spinning around relentlessly over a sun, a very insignificant small sun compared to the trillions that are observable from us alone in an infinite vast space that's incomprehensible beyond all comprehension from a human perspective, but how small, tiny, and insignificant our existence truly is in the grand scheme of the universe itself. And nothing has meaning. It's all pointless. It's nihilistic. You're born and then you die and nobody remembers you. Blah, 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 blah. The usual nihilistic space stuff that we teach to kids, by the way. The bullshit. And God gets removed out of the equation. People get depressed. And they need the fiction. They don't know there's anything else. They need that hope that man will one day travel the stars. We will leave our limiting, ever depleting, original home, our first spaceship, Spaceship Earth. We'll leave this thing and we'll go out there and we'll find new lands to colonize and maybe, just maybe, give ourselves some meaning and purpose, and no longer just be tied down to a meaningless cycle of death and birth on this dwindling, pointless place that means nothing to nobody, you know. And we'll go out there and spread ourselves far and wide, and have an abundance and create utopias, and we'll take our own evolution into our own hands while we're at it, and we'll transcend the death cycle, and we'll live forever as transhumanist AI adapted biomechanical organisms of some kind who can survive the harsh climates of planets and space out there. We will become as gods, and we will have dominion over the universe and all creation ourselves. And it all starts here with NASA sending rockets to the moon. And they've bought into that narrative. And maybe we'll meet aliens along the way. You never know. And it'll be Star Trek. And we'll go out there and we'll join the galactic, or even start the Galactic Federation. We'll go out there and colonize these primitive worlds with primitive beings, and we'll bring them into our world, and we'll coalesce into this ultimate imperial regime out there in space somewhere. I don't know. I'm making it up now. I'm just riffing. But the point is, they have this idea, this dream, don't they? That stories like people flying around the moon give them this narrative, the lie. And that's all they've got from their perspective to cling on to, because they've been told everything else is meaningless and pointless, and there's no God and there's no purpose to anything. It's all nihilism and desperate and pointless. And if that's the case, then what have you got other than you might as well just kill yourself? Okay, so they give the people things like a spaceship going to the moon to give them just a little bit of something to keep them going for a bit longer, and to maintain the lie that there is space, that it is this thing we can go and explore. Because the truth is, it's an enclosed system created by God, and we're actually a lot bigger than we think we are, and far more important than we think we are, and there is a creator, and he actually loves us. We're made in his image, don't you know? That changes things. That's too empowering. It's hard to instill nihilism into people, and apathy, and consumerist, let's just gorge ourselves to death kind of ideologies, when they have hope that they are a lovingly created being from a God that knows them intimately. We can't have that. That's how are we supposed to control people with that kind of empowerment? No. You're a cancer on a slime rock in a vast, insignificant universe. Now get back to work and pay those taxes. Yeah. That's more convenient, isn't it? Far more convenient for those in control. You hear people like Elon Musk talking about, oh, we're going to go colonize Mars. It's like, yeah, okay. I can't wait to see the show you're going to put on for that one. Oh, what a sacrifice those first pioneers are making for us. Off they go into the vast unknown towards Mars to set up the foundations for the next team, knowing that they will not survive. They are going to die on this mission just to lay the basic foundation for what's to come next. I guarantee that's how it's going to be sold. Some team will be put together, some multicultural, diverse team will go out, and they'll know it's a suicide mission. They're going to have to go into deep stasis, and they're going to get resurrected and woken up after traveling for, I don't know, 50 years or so, 30 years, 20 years, whatever they say it takes. They're going to make some number up, okay? Whatever. And once they're resurrected and they're there, they know they're not coming back. It's a one-way trip. And what they've got to do while they're there is they've got to establish the biodome, the way to terraform this region to sustain life. But in the time it's going to take them to do that, they'll probably die before the next team turns up and takes over. Something like this, okay? And that's what's going to happen. All those brave people going out there, and everything we will be doing from that on is going to be for them. Let's not forget who's already out there on Mars currently doing this great sacrifice for us. What can we sacrifice for them? Maybe those Christians over there who keep trying to hold us back. Can you see how this can start to go eventually, this delusion, pushed far enough? I think it can. I think it can get that bad. And I don't think generations are getting smarter. I think this is an idiocracy situation, unfortunately. I think education is getting weaker. It's getting worse. I think knowledge is getting more controlled. I think it's getting weird. I think the future generations need to get their heads screwed on and to read some books before it's too late to try and prolong this for as much as possible. But yeah, this delusion, once you get down to the bottom of it, this lie, is extremely dangerous in the long run. It's not just some trivial thing that's a bit of fun for the kids and gives some people some hope. It has an agenda, it has an end goal. It sustains not only the biggest deception known to all of humanity, that God is real and he's very close, and we are important and far larger than we were otherwise told that we were, and that Jesus is real, and that we will be judged for our actions here if we do not accept his free gift of salvation to be able to make it through that judgment in the end. If we don't know any of that, because we still think, well, we're just going to transcend our bodies and take control of our evolutionary process and turn into gods ourselves and leave this rock and make our own heaven somewhere else. You know, that's the biggest pile of shit I've ever heard compared to the truth of Jesus Christ and our creator God, who I mean, the evidence that he exists is all around us, and that's hard to understand what I just said there. It's self-evident in all the things that have been made. When you really fully understand the scale of God, the truth starts to come, and you start to find the science to back up its existence. For example, the basic law of entropy. We do know, as is scientifically measurable, is that everything is in a constant state of decay. It isn't getting better. Evolution, proven wrong instantly. Off the table. Because what it does prove is that everything must have been created at once, when you really think about it. And since that state of perfection, when God spoke the earth into existence, it's been progressively decaying since then. because things don't improve over time. Things that are in order are always falling into a state of disorder. That's entropy. Always. It never stops. And chaos doesn't miraculously turn into order given enough time and enough monkeys with a typewriter type of argument, It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Things must have been perfect in the beginning, got corrupt over time, which is what the Bible tells you is the truth. And there's millions of little things like that. When you just start to observe creation, the creator becomes self-evident. When you intrinsically see that everything, mathematically speaking, is perfect. Everything. It's created. Math just doesn't intrinsically exist for its own purpose of existing. It's a code. It's a formula. And formulas are formed by consciousness. And you can see the formula in everything, the geometry in all things, what we call a design. Okay, and entropy doesn't create designs like this. It doesn't. Chaos doesn't create order. Now, those who are in these secret societies want to cause chaos so they can rebuild and reshape out of the ashes of the chaos their order, but they themselves are putting themselves as gods above man and creating the reality that we live in. They are creating an order from the chaos, but chaos itself doesn't just turn into order. There has to be a consciousness behind it, and that's God. That's our creator. Okay? And the whole story of creation is us falling away from him and finding our way back. That's fundamentally the Christian story. The story of redemption. It's the wayward son coming back to the father after squandering his inheritance and rolling around with the pigs. And that redemptive arc is beautiful. You can look at the facts, look at the creation around you, and you'll see it's self-evident there is a creator. And I think most people haven't stopped to look. They have never stopped to actually look at nature, look at the creation itself. Just watch the clouds for 10 minutes. Stop for a second. Now, they may have read lots of books about nature, which have told them many things, sure, and probably angle more towards the evolutionary through slow processes and adaptation narrative and blah, 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 blah. I'm sure. So they might think they have a good grasp on what they're looking at. But the problem is what we think we know about nature and reality, we layer onto the reality around us when we look at things and we make assumptions. But when you actually lose all of that and just watch without any assumptions, as a child would look at things, the whole world opens up into a psychedelic, trippy mess that shows you this was created. But who has the time in this world? This whole world's designed to keep you distracted all the time, so you never stop to smell the flowers. You never stop to think about the things around you. You never stop to think about your place in it and where we stand and what we are. It's rigged against you from the start. They are literally just going along with what they were taught in school. All the institutions, your teachers, your people in positions of authority, the news, your parents even, everyone you know as a child from growing up is telling you the same things over and over again, parroting what they heard from their authority figures and their teachers, and it's all encompassing. And then, you are born into a world where you mean nothing, everything is meaningless and pointless and finite and is running out and will end, and your life is pain and death and misery. There is no God, you're all alone and nobody loves you. Okay, that's the world people are born into and try and get through life believing and thinking. And that's the haze they live within, and they can't see anything outside of it. People like me sound absolutely insane to them. We do. We sound crazy because everyone they know believes in X. Who's this person coming along talking about Y? That's delusional. Like, my teacher said this, my doctors say this, the people on the news say this, my leaders say this, my boss says it, my parents told me this. But yeah, because everybody's under it, everyone's in it. It wouldn't be a very good delusion otherwise, would it? I think more people are seeing through it. I do. I think more people in this day and age, the internet definitely helps a lot. I think a lot more people are realizing just how far gone the delusion is. I think a lot of people are realizing just how deep the lie goes. And we're networking, we're talking, we're communicating, we're spreading as much as we can, we're talking to each other, we're supporting each other, we're building communities, we're separating ourselves, we're going off grid, we're growing our own food, we're going all herbal and natural, we're taking our kids out of the schools, we're doing what we can when we can. And, slowly but surely that grows faster and faster and gets exponential. And I think that is happening. It's not all hopeless. But you have to remember that the majority of people are still there. Just look at any post from NASA and look at the comment sections underneath it, and these people are idolizing them like gods. These are the oracles of our world, and most of what they have to tell you is a lie that doesn't exist in any real world. It's a fiction. It's all fiction, and these people are actors. These people on these screens, these people doing these missions, they are actors. You have to know this. This is very important. The people who put on these shows for us, like Artemis 2. Or even if you look outside of that, and you look at the world stage, these people we call our leaders. The politicians, the presidents, the prime ministers, the kings, the queens, the glorious leaders, and all the rest of it. Pick one. It doesn't matter who it is. I think they're all actors. That's what I'm getting down to. That's the fact. I'm going to give you the conclusion of my entire speech straight away. Let's cut to the chase. It's fake. They are all actors. And even these people who go on stage and pretend to fly up to space, they're in on it. They are also paid, bought for, secret society members, friends of rich, influential characters who are in the business of faking our reality through the medias they control. The media is a weapon. It is a tool to make you believe a specific reality they want you to believe is the thing you're living in. And they do that through repetition and imagery on a screen. And the actors on those screens are pretending to be your leaders, are pretending to be the team that was chosen to fly around the moon, for example. And we wonder, how's that possible? Surely people wouldn't do that. They couldn't get away with it. No one would know. Like, we would know if they were actors. They're living this whole life where everyone knows who they are. And it's kind of, no. They can get away with it. They are getting away with it. They are not us. They are not like us. They do not live on the same plane we live on. They do not live the same life me and you live. They are not in the same circles as me and you. They are in a very special club. They are above everything that we have to live within. They created the entire narrative that most people live under. They created all the systems that we are currently under the thumb of. They write the history books. They create the media. They write the songs. They put on the show. They are the showrunners of the stage we call planet Earth. And they are orchestrating the entire thing. They are the directors and the producers and the casting directors and the actors of the world stage. And they are in secret societies we call things like Freemasonry, the Oddfellows, the Jesuit orders. They're all in on it. Name a secret society and whatever umbrella category branch you want to name. They're all in on it. They write the scripts and we follow them. They hire the actors, and the actors perform for us. But they are playing roles that we, as far as we are concerned, are real people with real lives, who have real influence over us. Okay, but they are just currently playing that role. The biggest clue that put me onto this, realistically, was the Oddfellows. And I've talked about this before, and I think you need to really drive home this point. If you look at the Oddfellows, which is a sister organization of Freemasonry, they'll say they're unaffiliated and it's a separate organization, but it's bullshit. They're all in on it. Every single one of them are connected. They share a lot of the same members, Freemasonry and the Oddfellows. None more prominent than Albert Pike himself, the creator of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, the master mason who wrote Morals and Dogma, which lays out all the degrees of Freemasonry in black and white for everyone to see. He too was an Oddfellow. Okay? And so was P.T. Barnum, Phineas Taylor Barnum, the man who invented the modern circus, the great charlatan, the one who's equated with that quote, there's a sucker born every minute, even though he didn't technically say that. But he was mentioned in a court case involving him defrauding people into believing that he had a real giant on display when he didn't. That psychopathic, narcissistic weirdo who invented the 3-ring circus, which, 3 interlocking rings, is the main logo for the Oddfellows, if you didn't realise. Well, this showrunner is rubbing shoulders with other members of this odd fraternity called the Oddfellows, who also had King George V as a member. And almost every president and senator you can imagine has been a member. Prime ministers of Canada, European prime ministers and presidents, kings, have all been members of this throughout history and still are. Powerful, influential world leaders with militaries and everything behind them, mixing and schmoozing and laughing and having fraternal brotherly love, shall we say, with Charlie Chaplin, Burl Ives, just random actors and musicians of D-list or C-list or A-list category, whatever it is. Why the hell are actors and performers in the same fraternal order as kings and prime ministers? Probably because they're all actors. All of them. And some in these fraternities are hired to go play the role of a real person. And as far as everybody else is concerned, you really are the King of England. But you're just following our script that we write for you. And then some members of this fraternity, well, your job is to go out there and actually play the role of an actor. And you're going to do the fictional stuff. And you're going to go in the films and the movies that we write that brainwash the masses. And you'll be worshipped as a god, as an idol, a great actor who plays many roles in all these wonderful movies. But the greatest role you're playing is that you're actually one of us, pretending to be this great actor with this fake name we give you. And when you're done, we'll kill you, and you'll have a glorious death, worthy of a god that will immortalize you forever. Then you can come back to us in your old age, and we'll send you out there as maybe a real actor this time. You can go play the prime minister of this little country over here in the middle of nowhere. But you work for us, and always will until you die. Don't forget what we've got on you. Don't forget that videotape. And that's the rub, isn't it? That's how they get away with this. Many of them love it. Because like I said, they're not like us. They actually enjoy the power of fooling billions of people into believing they're something that they're not. That power it gives them, that sense of identity of look at these idiots, they're all buying it. I own them, that type of attitude. They love it, they thrive off it, they need it, and they will do anything they can to keep hold of it, whether it's real or fake or whatever, they don't care. The adulation, the respect they get, the power they get over others, the duper's delight for fooling billions and millions of people, for having such a sway over their psyche. Oh yeah, they're fully in for it. They'll keep going. And you won't have to pay them a dime. They don't get paid anyway. They're above all of that. Money's not a concern for these people. They print the money. They don't care. This is a game to them. This is fun. This is what they do to pass the time. They are not like us. While we're struggling to buy food and barely get to work because we can't afford the fuel to get us there, they're pretending to be world leaders and having a laugh. They are not like us. We're not the same. They'll gladly go onto the TV and pretend to fly around the moon. And what happens when they come back? The whole world thinks they're heroes. Oddfellows. And they never went anywhere. They didn't even fall out of that plane with a parachute, probably. They were just quickly boated to it, hopped off the boat, got into it, closed the shutter, boat drives away, cameras suddenly turn up. It's just landed, guys, and they open the shutter. Oh, we're here, we made it, you know, like, yeah, whatever. Like, these people don't have to lift a finger, they don't have to do anything. Like, it's all a show. How did they get away with it? Well, the people who own the camera crew, the chopper that put them there, the plane that dropped them off, they're all in on it. They're all a part of this giant club that you are not a part of. And they all keep each other's secrets. They don't break it. They don't break their oath. They don't. You, what they call the profane masses, will never be in on the secret. They'll never publicly admit any of it. They'll deny everything I've just said if ever confronted about it. And they'll call me crazy for saying it. To the very end. I guarantee it. They are not like us. They don't care. They don't care about our opinions either. They are high on their own supply. Like, they seriously think they are gods among us. And can you blame them, considering what I just said and what they're getting away with and what they're doing to us? In some cases, maybe they genuinely believe they deserve the adulation they get from the ignorant masses who eat it all up. They probably have this narcissistic god complex where they've convinced the whole world that they're one person when they know they're not. And that makes them feel like, well, I deserve this because I am so great. I am the master deceiver. I can do this type of thing. I am powerful. They lose themselves. They give themselves over to a reprobate mind. They become those things. And maybe God even gives them over to their delusion and lets them really believe they are that powerful mogul that they think they are. God knows they're nothing. Because that's the other sad thing about these people. Many of the ones who get recruited into it, many, I think it's generational, are born into it, you know. But those who get recruited into this type of thing, they're a certain type of person. Weak, pathetic loser is probably the best way to describe them. They don't have friends. They don't have influence. They don't have power. They don't have anything. They're lonely. So they join a fraternity, thinking they might get some friends. And those people are malleable. Those people are desperate. Those people will do anything for some companionship. And these are the people these secret societies prey on to recruit and bulk out their numbers. Probably less so. More so these days, it's generational, because the lies are so interwoven and deep that they have to keep it within the families now to keep the secret going and to shut up and hush hush. Less outside influence, the better now, because we're deep into it. I imagine that's the situation we're under. People always say, like, oh, how could they do this? How could they get so many people to agree with the lie? Easily. They say that with such smug conviction, like it means something. There's no way they can get that many people to go along with the lie, you know? It's just impossible. No, it's not. There's your response. No, it isn't. It's easy. Just use your imagination for 1 second and you'll see. It's very easy. It doesn't take much thinking to imagine how they do this. It doesn't. But these people that say that kind of stuff, they're not interested in thinking. They don't want to think. They did all their thinking in school. They're past that now.
I want you to get together.